Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay? No? Yes? Very good. Good evening. Thank you so much. Whoa. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Aaron Wilson. I'm the new principal here at NC, and I just wanted to take a couple hours to introduce you. No, I'm just teasing. I'll take about 1 minute. I just wanted to say hello. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of the dedication and time that it takes for parents and students to be a part of athletics and activities here at NC. So I'm excited to be part of it. I hope you are too, and thanks for being here. Mr. Cantrell is going to get you started with all of the information you'll need tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. We are excited to have you here. So let's go ahead and get started. This is our fall activities meeting, right, for parents. Just a quick kind of rundown of who we have now as a staff this year. Mr. Wilson is our new principal. My name is Spencer Cantrell. I'm an assistant principal and the activities director. My assistant is Jennifer Horning, and nothing would happen without her help. So thanks, Jennifer, for all you do. Our athletic trainer is Leah Washington. You'll get to meet her just a little bit later if you don't know who she is. And then the other assistant principals currently are Brian Honkin, Jim Catlin, and Heather Ryan. And before I forget, I'd like to thank Zach Schneider for getting this all set up tonight and allowing us to use his auditorium. That's much appreciated. Thank you, Zach. So our coaches, we do have a couple of changes as far as our head coaches go, and there are some assistant changes as well. But for cross country, Becky Sondag is still our head coach. We do have a new dance coach. Her name is Shelby Harmon. She wasn't able to make it tonight. Our new tennis coach is Mike Akers. Mike, are you here? There he is, right there, everybody. So Mike Akers is our new tennis coach. We're excited to have him on board with us this year. Football, of course, Steve Harshman. Adrian McNamee is our volleyball coach. Jessica Snell is still our swimming coach. And Coach Christina Baker is our cheer coach. So, all right. We will turn a minute over to the Booster Club so that they can talk to you about a couple of things.
Hello, NC family. It's good to see your faces after a little summer break. The NCHS Booster Club is all volunteer. It is parents like you, a handful of kids, fans, and occasionally coaches too. And we are here really to celebrate and support our 500 plus student athletes and our 55 coaches that have put together the 18 sports programs here at NC. Boosters are really three things. I couldn't remember which slide we had up there, so I'll just talk this through. We are spirit, so if you see apparel around campus, a lot of that is coming from your booster club. It's one of our fundraising tools and one of the ways we sort of build the brand and keep the orange and black all over campus. We do spirit events. We have a carnival in the fall. We do rivalry games, throwing out tchotchkes from time to time. And then we put on an end-of-year all-sport C-Club banquet celebration to honor all the athletes. Booster Club is also about hospitality. We run 4 concession stands across the campus, and that is also a big fundraising tool for us. So if you've ever come to a game before and enjoyed the nachos or the awesome hot dogs, that's us. We're really good at boiling hot dogs. We are also about giving. So where does all that money go? The volunteers raise the money by putting in time. We depend on those volunteers heavily. And the results really show because we've given almost $60,000 to sports programs in the last 4 years. That's pretty significant if you think about the work that must go into making that happen. So keep buying your concessions, but we'd also love to have you be a volunteer with us. In addition to those grants, we also give now something called concession grants. So if a sports program or a student program on campus, student council, FFA, anybody comes in and works the concession stand with at least one parent there alongside them, your program gets 20% of the proceeds from that night. It's way faster, way easier than typical fundraising avenues, and then we're kind of helping each other out, and I think people have a pretty good time in there, as evidenced by how much popcorn we throw and extra food we eat. So some of the things that Booster Club has purchased, I'll just go through a couple of them so that you know. The TVs in the MAC. If you're not familiar with the MAC, if you're a freshman, that's the field house basically on the other side of campus. We buy your letters and your pins. We've given a treadmill recently to the running programs. We've given a timing machine to the running programs, some equipment to the football team, some weights to the wrestling team, some mats to dance and cheer, and it goes on and on. So pretty big purchases, things that maybe those programs wouldn't have access to without that added support. So again, the only way that that happens is with your help, whether it's 15 minutes or 15 hours, whatever you have to give. We invite you to join. It's super easy. You can go to natronabooster.com or .org. We're there. It gives you the links to get to the Join Us page where you can go and just make a safe, secure payment to join Booster Club. We also take donations, but again, those volunteer hours are critical. We also have business sponsorship opportunities. So if you own a business or are engaged in a business that you think would be interested in that opportunity, please reach out to us. And we meet the second Monday of every month at 7 o'clock, usually here at NC. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Oh, 125th. Did you guys know we turned 125 this year? So the whole year is going to be a party. Yeah, we're pretty jacked. Yeah, so I don't know what this looked like in 1896, but I think it's probably pretty spiffed up since then. So we have an awesome campus, an awesome programs, an awesome staff that keep that happening. But getting parent engagement is key to our success. What was the other thing you said? Oh, Facebook page. How can you reach us? So boosters are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. So if you find any of those avenues preferable, we put most of our content on Facebook page, and that's also a super big engagement tool for parents. So you can dump photos of your kids in a tennis match out of town and we aren't there. Go take pictures and send them to the page. Then all the parents who didn't get to attend who are part of tennis get to share those. We'll share announcements, we'll share home game schedule, and just interesting facts that'll be especially relevant to the sports families at NC. So again, join up. We invite anybody and everybody to be part. Thank you.
We really do appreciate our Booster Club. For those of you that don't know, they do so much for our athletic programs. They put in an incredible amount of work, and it doesn't go unnoticed. We really do appreciate them. All right, so let's start off just a little bit with some goals that we have in our activities programs. First and foremost, we want to support and develop each student athlete. That's important, that we and our coaches interact in a manner that is supportive and helps each of our kids progress and grow as individuals. Another goal that we have is to increase program participation. Studies show that if kids participate in extracurricular activities, whatever they might be, that they tend to have a better experience throughout high school and tend to be more successful for a variety of reasons. And so we want to make sure that all of our students, or as many as possible, have something to participate in, somewhere where they can go to feel a part of something outside of school. We want our activities to help improve school spirit, culture, and just the general atmosphere of being here at NC. We also want to increase our family, community, and school involvement so that we can support our kids. And that's everybody. We want everybody to be able to work together to support our young people. That's what we're all here for tonight, is to support our students and our athletes, our kids. So we want to make sure that we do that the best we can. We want to make sure that we take time to recognize and encourage personal excellence. That's what extracurriculars are all about, whether it's sports, activities, like speech or whatever it might be. It's all about being the best that we can be. So taking opportunities to recognize that, encourage that, and celebrate that type of excellence is very important to us. And of course, we want to teach, promote, and model good sportsmanship, especially as parents. We want to make sure that we're modeling that good sportsmanship. And I've seen that as I traveled a little bit last year and, of course, was at all of our home events. I think our sportsmanship here at NC was awesome. On the road for football games, that sticks out. That's where I spent most of my time traveling, watching my own sons play. But it's fun to see our parents get in and cheer for those kids, and be loud and just be there and let them know that they're there and they're supported. But it's important to model that good sportsmanship no matter the outcome of the contest. We need to be graceful. So the philosophy, okay, we've already touched on some of this. First and foremost, we want to make sure that our kids are participating, right? Just going to kind of go over some of these highlighted words. They're participating because that's providing opportunities and experiences for their personal growth, self-expression, mental alertness, and physical growth, all right? We want to make sure that we are providing a positive atmosphere, and that our kids are provided with opportunities to achieve excellence in whatever it is that they're deciding to do. And lastly, we want to make sure that we're teaching our kids to contribute to society in a meaningful way. We want to raise them up and teach them how to be contributing members of our society. In that next paragraph, again, I highlighted sportsmanship, teamwork, competition, and how to win and lose gracefully. Those are all parts of that philosophy. We have to make sure that our kids are taught how to develop a healthy self-concept as well as a healthy mind and body. All of that is incorporated in what we want our kids to do and to be able to do after they leave high school, to learn those things. And of course, we want to make sure that we have good school spirit and take pride in NCHS. We have an incredible history here. Last year was a little bit difficult with COVID. There were a lot of restrictions. Currently, those are not in place. And so I'm hoping that we can get back to the way things were before. Getting that school spirit here, getting people out, supporting our kids and our programs in our school. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to let Leah Washington take just a few minutes here to talk about safety.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Leah Washington. I'm the athletic trainer here. Being the athletic trainer, my goal is the safety, health, and well-being of your student athletes. Coaches are paid to teach them the sport, and I'm paid to hopefully keep everyone safe. So I'm here for all the athletes. For any issues, send them to me. Bumps, bruises, sprains, strains. That's why I'm here. With that, please make sure that you send them to me first before you go to your doctor, unless, of course, it's an emergency. Please go to the doctor first if it's an emergency. But if you send them to me first, hopefully we can maybe avoid a doctor's visit, or I can help send you guys to the right person. We're lucky enough here in Casper to have a lot of people that help our student athletes out, and I can help make appointments and stuff like that. So with that being said, if you do go to the doctor, you have to bring a note of clearance. And once I have a note saying your athlete cannot participate, I have to then get a note that says they are cleared. So it can be kind of a pain, but we have to have that held out note and that clearance note, or we can't clear them to go back onto the field. And that's really just for their safety. We want to make sure that everyone is as healthy as they can be when we send them out. Then concussions, the big C word no one likes to listen to. Here at NC we use impact testing, so you'll hear a lot of your athletes talk about how they have to do baseline testing. This lets me know how their brain operates now while they're healthy, so goodness forbid they were to get a head injury, I know when they're back to normal. So it's not comparing to everyone else in the room, it's compared to how they are on their baseline test, and that's why we do that baseline testing. If they were to be diagnosed with a concussion, we would then have to wait till they're symptom-free for 24 hours. We would retest them, and once they pass that or get back to within a certain range on that baseline test, we would then start progressing them. We have a 5-day return to play protocol, and we just start easing people into activity. Then they have to get that clearance from a doctor before they can do any impact activity. So tackling, drills, scrimmaging, anything like that. And district policy, I just like to get this out there so I can at least say that I told you. District policy, it has to be an MD or a DO that signs that clearance. I know a lot of walk-in clinics, they have practitioners or physician's assistants that do that. Unless it says MD or DO afterwards, I can't accept that. And yay for me, I get to be the bad guy when that happens. So moving off of that fun topic, make sure. Okay. Thankfully, like Mr. Cantrell said, we have a lot less restrictions this year. I just ask that we stick to, if you are sick, please don't come to practice. I can't tell you how much fewer issues we had with stomach bugs, colds, the flu last year, just because kids weren't coming to practice, sharing a water bottle with their best friend, and then everyone getting sick from them being sick. So we just ask, if they are sick, communicate with their coaches, communicate with me, and keep them home. That keeps everybody else a little bit healthier. For certain injuries, you might see before I even see them, so a few things for at-home care. Please do not heat a brand new injury. We like to start with ice for that first 48 hours. There are times that I will start introducing heat, but that first little bit, just ice and rest, elevate all of that. Preventing infections as well. Make sure any cuts or wounds, you clean them out, you cover them. Shower every day after practice. Don't share towels. All the things that us as parents are like, ooh, why would you do that? But high schoolers, they think it's fine. So just keep reminding them of those things so that hopefully we prevent infections. And then finally, I will do my best to contact you either in person or phone call if there is something serious. I do let athletes take a little bit of their own, a little bit of responsibility for themselves if it's a minor injury. I do think that they're about to be adults and they need to take a little bit of responsibility for their own health care. So I will communicate with them, but if it ever becomes an issue, I will reach out to you. Or if you have any questions, you can email me. My email is on the school website. I believe football parents, I know on the thing that Coach Harshman will hand out to you guys, my email is on there. If you call the main office, they can connect you to my office phone number. I don't have regular hours because I'm always here at night for practices and weekends and stuff like that. So leave a message and I will get back to you guys. I will say email probably is the best. Other than that, a lot of people have my cell phone number. I just ask, text first because I probably won't answer if I don't know the phone number. And just, I say this because it's happened before, don't call at 10:30 at night for a question on a sprain or anything like that. Because I have a baby and he gets woken up. It's not fun. But I am totally fine. If you know someone that has my cell phone number, I am fine with you getting that. Just please be respectful of my time, and I'll try and be respectful of your guys' time. And if there is anything that I need to know going into the season, I will be hanging around before you guys leave. Just find me. I brought my notebook so I can take notes and everything and be prepared for everything. And that's everything. Thank you.
All right, Leah's awesome. We appreciate everything she does for us. And just to piggyback on one of the things she said about not coming to practice if you're not feeling well, I do know that a couple of our programs are going to continue checking temperatures, not because it's mandated, but because they found that doing that helped prevent the spread of illness. Football is one of those programs. I think wrestling might be another one. So don't be alarmed when you hear that that's happening, but that did help a lot last year. So your child might be sent home from practice if they're running a fever. So anyway, something to keep in mind. All right, let's get down to some of the nitty-gritty here. Registration. Okay, so just like last year, registration can only be done online. The way that you do that is log into your Infinite Campus parent portal, go to More, and then to District Parental Agreements. Okay, and so once you get to that point, all the necessary information is there, and you'll be able to just kind of go through it all, watch all the safety videos, read anything that you need to read about eligibility, code of conduct, check those things off, and take care of that online. So keep in mind that we have to have health insurance if your child is going to participate in any sort of athletic activity, any sort of activity. So that needs to be filled out online, okay? Right there in that parental agreement that you'll be filling out, there's a spot for that. If you don't have insurance, there's a place in that agreement where you can purchase it. And if that still doesn't work for you, then you can come into the activities office, and we do have another option that we can show you and talk about, depending on what your child's needs are. But please make sure that health insurance is taken care of, or we can't allow them on the field, on the court, or anything else. Along with that goes the physical, okay? So make sure that all physicals are completed and turned into the activities office. We have to have it physically in hand before we can allow any child to participate. And that physical must have been done after May 1st of this year. Anything prior to May 1st we can't accept, okay? And then homeschool, virtual school, if you fall into those categories, please make sure that you have gone and filled out the necessary paperwork with the Wyoming High School Activities Association. You can find that online at whsaa.org under forms, and there's a lot of forms there online. You can go print those off, fill them out. You can either drop them off at WHSAA, you can drop them off at my office. I can scan them in, take them over there, or send them over there. But all of that has to also be filled out and taken care of before you can participate. And if you need anything else, any other information, just go ahead and see me or Jen Horning, and we can help you out. Okay, Code of Conduct. This is found in the Administrative Regulation 5371. NCHS, students represent our school and our community, and they're expected to maintain very high standards. Students participating in activities or athletics have to abide by the Code of Conduct policy. They're held to a higher standard than students that don't participate in extracurricular activities. And so what that's going to do is just govern their behavior and their expectations, not only in school, but within the community as well. And it applies to students that are in activities for the entire school year. So if I have a football player that at the end of the season has a code of conduct violation and isn't able to actually serve the suspension for that violation, and then that football player doesn't do anything until track, then the suspension will be in play come track, okay? So it's for the entire school year. And this is just a little bit from that admin reg, that students who volunteer to participate on any athletic team, co-curricular club, or activity will not use, possess, transfer, or disperse any tobacco products, alcoholic beverages, or controlled substances. Students will not confiscate, destroy, or vandalize private or public property. This will include, but not be limited to theft, shoplifting, breaking and entering, and vandalism. Students covered by the Code of Conduct who violate municipal, state, or federal codes will be subject to the appropriate legal consequences. All right. So just keep in mind that we don't see a whole lot of those, but they do pop up. So please be aware that can happen. And that also applies to summer. Okay. If one of your children is participating in a summer camp, maybe they've gone off to a basketball camp and they violate that Code of Conduct, then that will follow them and be enforced at the start of their season, whatever their first season is. And if they don't successfully complete the entire season, then they haven't satisfied the Code of Conduct, and so then that will then be applied to the next season that they participate in. So, all right, and this is kind of what that looks like. So the first time that there's a Code of Conduct violation, if they participate in a sport or activity that has 12 contests or fewer, not including postseason opportunities, then they will, the first time they violate it, be suspended for one contest, okay? And if they participate in something like basketball or volleyball that has more than 12, then it will be a two contest suspension. The second violation is 3 and 6, and then the third violation is a 365-day suspension from all activities, athletics, anything, from the date of that violation. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, eligibility. This is discussed in WHSA Rule 6.0.0, as well as the Natrona County School District Admin Reg 5300. Each student has to maintain all passing grades. You can't fail even one class. Grades are checked every Wednesday morning, and our district policy is that they're checked on the first check is on the second full week of a semester. So for us, well, the first week of school is 3 days, the second week is 4 days, so neither one of those count, it's the first week. All right, so it's like the fourth week of school that first check will happen on grades. And so the first time that a student appears on that eligibility list, they will be placed on warning for 1 week. Now, warning means that they still get to participate in contests, okay? But if the next Wednesday rolls around and they're on that list a second time, even if it's a different class, then they're ineligible and they can't participate in any events until they get off that eligibility list, which will at least be until the next Wednesday, okay? They can still practice, but they can't play. And then lastly, if a student receives 3 consecutive weeks of failing grades, then they'll need to work with their head coach first. Come in, they can work something out with me in my office to get extra help, whether that's tutoring in the library after school, whether that's going and spending extra time with the teacher in the class where they're struggling, whatever that might be. We have to keep in mind that academics comes first. These things are extracurricular activities, and so we have to make sure that they're being successful in the classroom before anything else. All right, a little bit about communication. Okay, so first and foremost, I want the athletes to take responsibility for communicating with their coaches, right? I'd say the majority of the time the coach doesn't realize there's an issue until the athlete brings it to their attention. So athletes, please, first of all, approach your coach, whether that's a position coach, say in football when there's 16 coaches, or it's a grade level coach if you're playing freshman volleyball, okay? Approach that coach because they're the ones that probably deal with you the most and can give you insight as to what's going on, at least from their perspective. And then with that person, kind of develop a plan. Talk about what can be done to just help you out, you know what I mean? And then if things aren't taken care of, feel free to approach the head coach. Bring it to his or her attention. That's important that they understand what's going on as well, especially if you've already tried to talk to one of their assistant coaches. So for parents, we urge you to encourage your children to self-advocate, okay, to approach their coach, to try to take care of things on their own as much as they possibly can. If you'd like a meeting with the coach, then please set an appointment with them. They have busy schedules. They teach all day. They then spend hours in practice, maybe beyond that hours breaking down film, whatever it might be. So please don't expect to just be able to approach them before a practice, after a practice, before a contest, especially before or after a contest, and think that they're just going to be able to have time to sit down and talk with you and work something out. So please respect that and schedule a time with them. And it's great if you bring your child into that meeting because your child can offer a lot of insight. Meetings always go better in my experience when the child is there. And if you're not satisfied after you've met with the coach, please feel free to set up an appointment with me. And I like to bring everybody in together. That's usually the best way that it works out, is that coaches, parents, athletes, me, we all sit down and we have a conversation. Usually things are able to get worked out at that point. But the thing that helps it more than anything else is just to be positive in communications, okay? Please build up your athletes, build up coaches, don't tear them down. That's never gonna help a situation that actually just tends to worsen it, all right, that negativity. So please be positive in your communications. So our expectations. First of all, we have to represent our school and our community, again, through positive interactions with opponents, whether they be fans, players. Tell you what, last football season, we ended the season it was a down note, and the opponent, it wasn't necessarily positive in the way they interacted with some of our people after that game. and that left a bad taste in our mouths. We don't want to be that person or that school. We want to be graceful. We want to be positive and have good interactions no matter what. Be positive in your cheers, chants, songs, and of course gestures, right? Display modesty in victory and graciousness in defeat. Again, focus on being positive. Positive critiques and ways to improve rather than criticize. Okay, criticism typically is negative and tears down, but positive critique and looking for opportunities to improve are the best way to go about that. Something that's very important, we are having a hard time finding officials for basketball, football, soccer. We're just having a hard time. So please be positive in your interactions with officials. I know at least half the time we disagree with them, right? Because they're going to make a call that either goes for us or against us. But understand that it's a difficult position that they're in. I don't know how many of you out there have been in that position. I've been in that position. It's not an easy one to be in. But they are doing their best. So just be positive with them, respect them, and acknowledge that they're doing the best job that they can. And then lastly, celebrate success. Find the successes in every competition. Even in a outcome that we don't want, there's still something positive that can be found in there, something that we can build on, something that we can use. So please do that. So I really like this quote by John Wooden. It's be more concerned with your character than with your reputation. Your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. All right, so let's just make sure that we're concerned about who we really are. And so if we have integrity and do what's right, then we're going to be okay. Show respect. Be appreciative. Be appreciative to the coaches. Be appreciative, coaches, to the parents. Everybody's working hard and doing their best. So let's look for that, okay, instead of the things that maybe we don't think they're doing correctly. Let's all work together. When we say teamwork, we usually think of, a volleyball team or whatever. But we're all a team, right? NC, we're all a team. And if we can all work together, then things will work out for the best. Accept responsibility for our actions. That's a huge part of developing that character. And then, of course, being positive. I don't know if I've said that at all tonight, but it's right there, positivity. Let's focus on that. Okay, so some resources. So NCHS Athletics and Activities, you can go to natronacountyhs.org/activities or /athletics, and that'll get you to those websites. If you want to go to the district activities and athletics website, you can go to ncsdathletics.com. And if you have a question about the schedule, what's coming up, Jen does an amazing job of keeping our schedule updated on 4aconference.org. So please, bookmark that. But go to 4aconference.org. Everything is there. Dates, times, locations, opponents, all of it is there. That's where I go. We're pretty much scheduled out, and everything is updated through the end of this school year. So feel free to take a look at that. And then, of course, there's various social media sites that I don't ever really get on. So, okay. So the breakout sessions, I'm a few minutes longer than I wanted to be. I wanted to try to keep it to 30 if possible, but Leah Washington was long-winded, so not really. So football, if you're here and you didn't see the announcement that came out earlier, football, the meeting is postponed until further notice. Okay, report to practice, 6:45 in front of the stadium Monday morning. All right, football players that are here. Swimming, Coach Snell, she'll meet with her swimmers in room 2062. Volleyball, Coach McNamee will meet in the courtyard. Dance, as I mentioned, Shelby couldn't be here, so she'll be meeting in the Commons this coming Tuesday, August 10th at 6:30 p.m. So come here for that. Cheerleading, Coach Baker is going to take football spot right here in the auditorium instead of going outside. With cross country, Coach Sondag is out of town, so her coaches meeting will be scheduled for later in the month. That'll actually take place up on the mountain after a barbecue or something like that, I believe, but she'll have those details coming out to you. Coach Faust already met with his golfers, and with tennis, Coach Akers is going to meet with you in the Commons. So we can go ahead and break to our meetings. Thank you.